So from yesterday, remember we look at the first term and the last term. And we tried to make these with the power 2. So you've got 4a squared b4. And we want to make this to have power 2 for the first term. So 4 would have to be 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. A squared, well, 2 is already there. So we just write a. So that would be a squared. And b4 would be b squared. Squared squared is 4. Remember, these are multiplied here. And your n term is 25, C6D8. So we want to make that power 2 as well. So that would have to be 5 squared, 25, C3, 2 3s are 6, and D4, 2 4s are 8. So these are our 2 terms that will go into the part of the working. So we'll write the first one down, 2ab squared, and we have a plus here, so we use plus. But remember, your formula contains a 2 in it, like that. So then we write the first term again, which is 2ab squared. And we write the last term, which would be 5c3d4. And then the last term squared. So 5c3d4 all squared. Like that. And remember, this term here, or this part is here. And then this part is written here, like that. So then remember what I said the other day, that you need to check this middle term is the same as this middle term here. It needs to be the same or you can't complete the square. So we've got 2 2s are 4, 4 5s are 20. Okay, 20. We've got AB squared. AB squared is here. And we have C3D4 here. So C3D4 is there. So everything's good. So when it's good like that, we can write that as a complete square. So 2AB squared plus 5C3D4 and all squared. So I'm not writing the rule like I wrote yesterday. I'm just kind of skipping that step. But it follows the rule. So I could write that here. A squared plus 2AB plus B squared is A plus B all squared, like that. Okay, but the main thing I want to see are these 2 lines here, and you can show this part as well, how you got the first and last term. That's example 5, it's in your book there. So example 6 looks a bit tricky, doesn't it? Because now you've got 6 terms and you're thinking, well, if you've got 6, how are you going to do it? But what we do, we look at these terms and we look for some common factors. And in particular, we note that this has Z, there's a Z here, and there's a Z here. All right. All the others have X and Y, but in different forms. But this 3 have Z. And you'll notice that in this one, these have A. So I'm thinking we can group these together. I'll just put my answer key up to keep track of what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll group the blue ones first. So let's do the blue first. And we also look for other common factors in the numbers. And there's no common factors with the numbers here. So we'll write them down. 16x4z plus 49 y6z. And then the last one here with the sign, minus 56 x squared y3 z. So now we see z is the common factor. So I'm just going to do these blue ones first. I'm just not doing the pink one yet. So we're just dealing with this one here first. When you get good at it, you can simplify a little bit. So now here we see z is a common factor. So I'll take that out. 16x4. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this term in the middle because it's got to combine x and y. So when we do our complete square, this one actually needs to be in the middle. So put that next, 56x squared, y3. And the last one will have just y6. So 49 y6. I need to have this in the middle to help with the complete square. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it like that actually to save a bit of time. I can factorize this, but I'm not going to do it yet. And you'll see why in a minute. So let's do the purple or the pink. So that's this one here. So let's do these, this part here next. I'll use a red pen. So now we've got 32 x4a plus 98 y6a minus 112 x squared y3a, like that. And you see a is a common factor. Actually, 2a. 2a is a common factor. 2 can be divided into those three numbers. So 2a will be the common factor. So now we're going to end up with 16x4 plus 56 sorry, I'm skipping ahead. I'm doing the last one. 49 y6 minus 56 x2 y3. Now what you see here, these are actually the same, aren't they? So let's just rearrange this one a bit. 2a 16x4 minus 56 x squared y3 plus 49 y6. And you notice that this and this are the same. So this is actually plus. I'm adding this on here. So I guess I can write that again. So z 16x4 minus 56 x squared y3 plus 49 y6. So now you see that these are actually the same. So let's do that in green. So this one and this one are common factors. So we'll bring that out the front. So we'll have 16x4 minus 56 x squared y3 plus 49 y6 in green. Then you are left with what? Z plus 2a, just your grouping method. Like that. So you're not quite finished yet. This is partially factorized. This is finished. Z plus 2a, you can't factorize this more. But you know you can factorize this again, can't you? So using the method from question 6. So if you look at 16x4, that's going to be 4x squared. Now we'll use our formula for perfect square. So minus 2, 4x squared And this will be 7y cubed plus 7y cubed all squared. So now I've just changed this to look like that. And I'll put that in a square bracket. And this was z plus 2a on the end. So we need to check these terms, I guess. So this one is the same as this. 2 4s are 8, 7 8s are 56. That's okay. X squared, y 3. All right, so we're nearly done. So now this is actually in a completed square form. So that would become 4x squared minus 7y cubed all squared. So that is this yellow part here. I'll do that. So that bit is here as a complete square. And then we have the z plus 2a on the end there. 2a. So that's finished. This is your answer here. Okay, so if you expand that, you'll end up getting back to your question up here. So these are your factors. So that's used for question 9 and 10. So I'll leave that page there for a few minutes and you can copy that down if you want. It's in your textbook though, but they probably showed you a slightly different way of doing it. Okay, but that's the way I did it. So I'll leave it there for 5 minutes. When you've copied it, you can go down to your exercises from yesterday and keep working on those. Right, so in 5 minutes, I'll continue and I'll scroll up to the exercises. I'll move it up a little bit here. There. So you go down to your exercises from where you were yesterday and I'll come back in a couple of minutes and talk some more. Okay, I'll scroll down a bit. Okay, question 1 we did yesterday. Question 2, 3, 4. So we got down to about question 4 or so, right? So we can look at that one. So if you've done it, you can double back and check your answers. In this question, we factorized out 2. We suspect that because 72 can't be easily written as something to power 2. Okay, you'll end up with a square root sign, and we don't want that. So we see we have a common factor, which is 2. So we take out 2, and this is going to give us 36 C6 minus 84 C3 D3 plus 49 D6, like that. So notice how we saw that the 2 variables are in the middle. C, D is in the middle, C on the left side and D on the right side. That's why on the previous example, I put the combined variable into the middle here, because it's got both the left and the right side. So here we've got 2. 2's can be left alone. And 36C6, you could write that as 6C3 squared. We need to do that first. So make this a power 2. The last one is also power 2, which would be 7D3 squared. So I do the first and last, and then I put the middle in. So by the formula, we would have minus 2 6C3 from the first one and 7D3 from the last one. That's plus, like that. So you should include that line. Just get practice breaking up this part here. So we should check the middle term, I guess. So this one here should be the same as this. 2 6s are 12, 7 12s are 84. Okay, C3 and D3 are both in there, good. So now you can finish. So you've got 2, and you'll have 6C3 minus 7D3 all squared. So that's your final answer. This is your perfect square there. And you can expand it and check yourself. So green for answer, that one there. So just be aware that some questions require the common factor to be taken out. Not 5 though. 5 doesn't have a common factor. So work on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for a while. And I'll come back and say 10 or 15 minutes and we'll talk about some answers. I'll do a few of the solutions so you can see how you're going. Okay, if you know what you're doing, just keep working and I'll do these for those who are having a problem. So we have the first 2 things to do. So we've got to make these as power to power 2. So 81 P8 Q10 can be written as 9 P4 Q5 squared. Okay, so do that for your first term. For your second term, make it to power 2 as well. So that would become 5x 3y squared squared. 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6. 5 squared is 25. So those are your first 2 terms. So we can start writing them. So put your first term down. 9p4 q5 squared. And based on the formula, it should be plus, because you have a plus here, plus 2. Don't forget the 2. Then we put the first term in, 9p4 q5. Then we add the last term, 5x3y squared squared. 5x3 y squared squared. Oops, and you see what I'm missing. I should have put that in here. So 5x3 y squared. Then we square that. I missed that part. Squared like that. So now what you want to do is check your middle term. Should be the same as that. And the first 2 terms should be correct already. So 2 5s are 10, 9 10s are 90. So when you multiply them, you get 90, which is good. That's there. And we have P4Q5 here. And then we have X3Y2. X3Y2. So this is all correct then. So now you can write your complete square down. So 9P4 Q5 plus 5x3y2 all squared. And I'll put your answer in green. So this is your final answer here. Like that. So refer back to this video if you're having a problem with the homework as well. So that's question 5. If we run out of time, I will skip down to the last ones and we'll do them quickly. So we've got, again, the first and last term. We need to make these to power 2. So we'll end up with 7a3b2 all squared. So 7 squared, 49, 2 3s 6, 2 2s 4. So that's the first part here. I'll leave a space and then we'll do this one here. So this will be 16x4y6. So that's going to be 4x squared y3 squared for the last term. And then we have the middle to fill in. So based on our formula, we have a minus, put in 2 first. And then we have the first part, which was 7a3b2. And the second part, which is 4x squared y3. That's plus there. So just remember that this one is written here, and this one is written here. Okay, so check your middle term here. So we have 2 4s are 8, 7 8s are 56. That's correct. A3B2 is here. X2, Y3 is here. So everything's okay. So then we can write it as a perfect square or complete square. 7A3, B2 minus, because we have minus, and then 4x squared y3 all squared. So this is your first term is written here, and your second term is written there. So that's your final answer then, as a complete square or perfect square. Completing square is important for when we do quadratics too, which will be the next unit. Now for 7, I'll do 7 and then we'll move on to the last question. Okay, so when you get good at it, you can actually do it fairly quickly. So 121k4 would be 11k squared all squared. The last term is 25m6. So make that 5m3 all squared. First and last we do first. And then the middle term, we have a plus. So we have a plus. We have 2 from the formula. And then we'll write the first part, 11k2 here. And 5m3 here. Like that. And they come from here. And that one's there. Okay, so we should check our middle term again. 2 5s are 10. 10 times 11 is 110. K2 is here. M3 is here. So it's all good. Everything's okay. So then we can write our complete square. Our perfect square would be 11k squared plus 5m cubed all squared. So that's your answer there, finished. So when you've done a few, when you've done the homework, you'll get better at it. So for question 8, maybe for 8, we'll just write the answer because we only have 10 minutes. So for 8, you should get 5c cubed minus 14d4 all squared. So that's your answer. I'm not going to show the working because I want to talk about question 9. You can check that one yourself. Okay, 9 and 10. We'll do 9 anyway, and you can finish 10 for yourself for practice. Now, like I said with the last example, example 6, we look for some common factors. So we've got an m here. There's an m, and there's an m here. Okay, so it's looking like we're going to group these 3 here. So unfortunately, you need to rearrange some things because it's not straightforward. And n, n, n. You see n in 3 positions here. So n will be your common factor. So we should regroup it. So let's do 4. Let's take out, I'm going to take out the common factor. Let's save some time. So 4x4. Now I want to put the combined term in the middle. this one. So it's going to be 20 x2 y3. And then the last term, 25 m y6, or 25 y6. Like that. And then this one actually has a common factor. Let's see what it is. 3. Now there's going to be a common factor here, which would be 3n from the green one. So let's highlight the blue. That's the blue one done already. And we'll do green now. So 3n, we're going to end up with 4x4. And 3 times 25. Oh, let's put this in the middle first. So we'll have 20. And this come out x2, y3. Like that. And then the last term will be 75. 3 times 25, y6. Right. So this is the green part there. And just notice how I grouped the two variable, x, y, I put in the middle, x, y, I put in the middle. That will help you when you do your factorizing. But now you do notice that these are the same. 4x4, 20x squared y3 is the same as this one here. So this is your common factor. So let's factorize that out first. So 4x4 plus 20 x squared y3 plus 25 y6. That's your common factor. So now we're doing grouping. And you're left with m plus 3n as the other factor. That's from your grouping method. So this one's finished. M plus 3n is, you can't factorize that anymore. But now you know you can factorize this more here. So we've got about 5 minutes, so I'll show all the working. So 4x4 would be 2x squared, all squared, plus 2 times 2x squared, plus 25y6, so that would be 5y cubed. So let's put that in there. 5y cubed plus 5y cubed all squared. I'll keep that in a square bracket. And then you have your m plus 3n on the end there. So let's just check this. So now we'll check the middle term here. Let's check it's all okay. So 2 2s are 4, 4 5s are 20, x2, y3, okay. So now you can write this as a complete square, a perfect square. So 2x squared plus 5y cubed, and you square that, complete square, and then you've got m plus 3n. Yeah, this is probably the hardest question you're going to see, I think, in this unit. Okay, so that's your final answer in green there. So if you decided to expand that, you'll get back to this here. It's the same thing as your question. Okay, I'll leave that open for a few minutes to copy. You can try question 10. It's done the same way as this though. Okay, so just to start you off, you look for your common factors. So we have an a. Everything's got x, y, so that's not going to help. So we look for the a. This one has a in it. And this one has a. And then b is in the other ones. Yellow. So b is here. B is here. And b is there. So you need to rearrange these into some kind of order. So put your blue ones together. So you have 12a x8. I would put the combined variable in the middle, so minus 84 ax4 y3, and then the last one, 147 a y6. And now we'll do the yellow. So we can put in the minus 49 by6 and do the combined variable in the middle. So plus 28 bx4 y3, and then the last one, minus 4bx8. Like that. So I'll leave that for you to finish yourself. But the answer you get, so this is the answer. You should get 3a minus b. So it looks like there's some common factors in these pairings here. So this one is blue. This one is the yellow. So take some common factors and then continue. 3a minus b, and then you'll get 2x4 minus 7y cubed squared. So this is going to be your answer. So I'll let you try it because the time has run out now. And you see if you can get that one correct here. But that's the answer there anyway.